Alright, let's go. Just waiting for the ping in stream chat to go live. Stream link. Yep, it's gone live again. So we should be getting good. We should be good to go. Just get a few people to join real quick. Just give it a couple minutes and then get everyone to join. The people in the stream right now, can you hear my voice all right? Can you hear the game audio decently well? Before we get going, just making sure everything is as good as possible. I don't want to get into the stream and then everyone just going through telling me that they can't hear me or this, that, the other, or my mic's playing up. I know it's clippy, but it is what it is. Good. And a thumbs up, which means I can be heard. Just download the sprint very quickly, and then go in and not realize, and then make sure I don't see the order. That way I don't know where we're going in terms of where we finish. Obviously those in tier 5 will already know. Alright. Give it a couple of minutes, see if anyone else wants to join us. But for now, how's everyone doing? Before we get started here, how is everyone doing today? I'm doing pretty fine myself. Hello, hello, hello. How is it going? Well, so I'm looking at the order, just taking a quick glance, and that's a lot of names that I know of that I didn't expect to be so far. Oh, Chin, no, no. What are you doing? How are you there? Damn, yeah, that's a lot of names that I know of that I have raced against or trying to figure out where they're going to be this time round. This is more than what I'm usually aware of in terms of the people in a tier that I'm commentating for GT. But yeah, right. Giving everyone enough time, Pyro and do dual comp. I mean, Alexi, there is still time if you want to join in, dude. I haven't started yet. Can just set up a share screen, we can do it together. I mean, there is still time to do that. I mean, you don't have to wait till next week. You can go now if you really want to. You're lifting now. Fair. If you're down next week, I'm down. But yeah, right. We've given people enough time, especially tier 5. I pinged them earlier, so people should be in. It feels weird to actually be on time with a comms for once, albeit I say that with 2 tier 4 comms still to do and an entire tournament for Nations Cup still to do. Yeah, just casual things, and it only puts me about 15 races behind. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, you're giving everyone enough time now then, so get to do this properly. Welcome everyone to Tier 5 commentary. I am your comms for this season. We might get some appearances of dual comms apparently if we go by YouTube chat throughout the season. But my name's Pyro, and I will be doing comms, especially for the rest of the season. The next 8 weeks, you're stuck with me. Today, Deep Forest Round 1, Tier 5. It looks like we have Monty on pole, which is something I didn't expect to see after commentating most of Tier 4 last season, and he was not enjoying that McLaren. And then you've got Kimmy. I'm going to call him Kimmy because that's his Discord name, and I'm not not really prepared to butcher the PSN. So, yeah, Kimmy's going to start in the front row alongside Monty. Moose is going to start third on the second row in his M6 Sprint Edition. And you've got Animal in fourth. I believe that's a Ferrari. I'm not entirely sure. The car that sits in fourth. Actually, there's an easy way to figure that out. Let is do that. And it is. It's the 458. Fair enough. You know, D-Dub's fifth, which is the other Supra by the looks of things. And then Orak in sixth in a McLaren. Zelda in seventh. Higsy in eighth. Jin in ninth, which is quite funny. He should not be that far back in an M6, but he is. Then you got SD in 10th. Stewart in 11th. Fracas in 12th in his Mazda. I love how some of these have a livery. Some of these don't have a livery. For me, it's just weird. You got Matt in 13th, Reaper in 14th, Font in 15th, and Juho in 16th. Juho starting at the back. All right. So, as per usual, I'm going to do this before we go in. 15 minutes of sprint, which is what we currently have in front of us right now. So wind going 1.6 meters a second, favorably for Tier 5 at this point in time. And then we got a 40-minute feature after this. And yeah, that's what I will be covering today at the very least. I might afterwards go ahead and complete my 2 Tier 4 that I am in fact behind on. As for a Nations Cup marathon stream, 13 races, give or take, 13 cards. I don't know if a marathon stream could be done in a single day, even for Nations Cup. You might have to just split that into like 7 4-hour streams. I think that might be about where we lie because of the different lobbies. I did about 50 minutes per race, so yeah, we might be looking at a long stream there. It won't be a full day one. But yeah, right. That's enough about Nation Cup comms for now. We're going to get ready to do the Tier 5 comms, the first race of the season, and we are going to get underway with that now. So, we have 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out, away we go down towards turn 1. It looks like Kimi has got off to a fly start here. So has Animal in the Ferrari down towards turn 1. Has managed to get himself on the outside, but in the lead nonetheless, but goes deep. And that allows for actually Moose King to go through on the inside of turn 1. Takes first position immediately. That's a pretty good move there from Moose in his M6. And he's going to take the lead for now. The Animal second in a Ferrari, the McLaren in third, Kimi and Monty in fourth. Not a great start for him. Higsy up to fifth from eighth, and I think he'll take that. Orak stayed in sixth, started in sixth as well. Jin up to seventh, got a couple of positions there. Zelda in eighth. D-Dub's ninth, lost out a couple of times. SD stayed where he was. Matt is now going side by side with Font into the end of the second sector. And yeah, I think Font's gonna. No, it's because I haven't got enough space, so I'll sort that out for next time. Challenger in 12th. We got Reaper and Fracas. Fracas not getting off to a good start either. Stewart off to the worst imaginable start with Juho still in 16th. We're going to continue. We're going to go back to the front, see what's going on here. Moose is probably going to get penalised for that as Kimi goes down the inside there on Animal in the Ferrari. Gets that move done, moves up into second. Now we got Animal and Monty going side by side into the final corner of the first lap. It'd be about 11 laps in this sprint race, and the Supra probably should be out the Ferrari down the straight here, and it will do. And that is Monty up into the top 3 after lap 1. Higsy is trying to sort out a move here on the inside as well. Doesn't really get the chance to do it as it stands. Moose is off in the distance. He is very much clear at the front of this race. You've got Kimi who's trying to make his way towards him, also trying to stop the guys behind catching back up. It looks like Higgsy's going to get on the inside here of Animal, and it's going to be a pretty good move here from Higsy if he can pull it off. And he absolutely has. A little bit more contact between the two of them, but the Mercedes will get in front. It's a pretty nice move there from the Mercedes, and it might be getting fired straight back from the Ferrari. And the Ferrari with a nice little dive back on the inside there, and gets the position right back from the Mercedes, who just couldn't get enough separation after making the move earlier on in the lap. Norak trying to fight his way through here as well as we go down toward the end of lap 2 into the hairpin. Now we go. Higsy and Animal side by side. It looks like Jin's trying to make himself available in the back there as well. Higsy's not going to make a move. Aurak's going to try and force something here. We got 3 wide further back. It looks like Jin, D, and Esty actually was going side by side there through the hairpin on the exit of the hairpin. Zelda in 10th as well right now, losing out massively in this fight. We're gonna look at this one down the straight. Jin versus Esty right now, and it looks like Jin's gonna win this. They head down towards turn 1. D-Dubs is looking for the outside line here. It's not gonna work. Maybe if there's a hole to follow, which there has been a hole created by Esty here, but it's not one that can be followed through by D-Dubs. Font versus Zelda is also happening in the background here, and I think Font has managed to get through, and Font has, but gone deep. He gone very deep, and that is going to give him a penalty, which Zelda will take advantage of, and Zelda is going to go straight through here against Font. And Font's gone deep again. That's grass. You don't want to be doing that too often. Oh, and Aurak span. Aurak is in the wall, and we're going to actually take a quick look and rewind that a bit and figure out what happened here with Aurak. He's got fine there. Oh, it's a collision. Oh, it's just a side-by-side collision there between him and Animal. And that is going to do it for him. He's not going to enjoy that as he now drops to the back of the grid. Moose is currently clear of Kimi, who is also clear of Monty, and Monty's got Higsy not that far back at the start of this race. We're on lap 3 right now of 11. We've got Higsy's a couple of seconds further back, and Animal, after the collision there with Aurak, is now fighting Jin. He is too far back off the back of the Mercedes to make anything work there, and Jin goes a bit deep, trying to avoid the Ferrari as everything unfolded there. And now we've got Zelda versus Zelda versus Esty, sorry, as we go down the final corner, and a little bit of a battle unfolding further back, and we're actually going to keep tabs on both of these battles, as we got a nice little camera angle shot there, as we're going to now drop back to see whether or not D-Dubs is going to get past Font. Esty managed to get past Zelda, and D-Dubs has managed to get past Font. Font still on the outside though, getting a little bit squeezed, but survives nonetheless, and Reaper's trying to look through for a hole, see if he can follow through and try and make a move on multiple people here. He got past Font on the inside of turn 1, but D-Dubs closes the door pretty nicely there on Reaper to hold on to ninth position as it stands. These guys going at it hammer and tong at this point in time. Juho and Stewart at the back also trying to go at it. We're going to go back towards the front, see if anything is actually unfolding here. Higsy is getting closer and closer to Monty, and Monty has a half-second penalty. That's not what you want to see. Is he going to serve it this lap? He's not going to serve it this lap, which means Higsy will get by him on the lap following. And he's still got Jin versus Animal in the background of our picture here. And Animal's going to be lucky to avoid a penalty there. He's got a bit deep. And Monty's going to hold on against Higsy for now. We're just going to look further and further back, see if there is in fact a battle unfolding. Zelda versus SD is a battle that happened on the last lap. Won't be resumed on this one because SD is a bit too clear of his teammate. In the beginning of this race, both in the GTR, into the GT, in the GTRs, if I can speak English. And yeah, SD's going to hold on there. D-Dub's clear of Reaper, and Reaper clear of Matt. And actually, Font's last now. Font is last now, as he has obviously had a bit of a mistake in that Mazda. As they catch back up with the Jag of Juho Finn and the Mazda of Fracas, as the Mazdas have not had a good time to start this race. Stuart there, both Super 97s. Not particularly enjoying themselves either, both outside the points to start. We have a yellow flag, and we have an Animal that has spun round. Oh, it's just a traction issue. Oh, it's just a traction issue. He gets it all wrong on the exit of the final corner of the second sector, and yeah, that's going to do it. That is definitely going to do damage all over the place as well. He's not going to enjoy that. Also, Higsy getting past Monty. Monty had his penalty, he served that. Monty's got the inside line, but again, the inside line doesn't necessarily equate to the best line. And that means Higsy will get through, and up into the top three he goes in his Merc 20. And there's the problem, it would be a very good start in what is his league debut. Same for Kimi, actually, because Kimi is in his league debut as well. Here in tier 5, currently sat second. Moose is currently in the lead of this race. It looked a little bit deep there for the Merc, as Monty is close but not quite close enough. See what else in terms of battles we've got. Jin is not in a battle right now. He's kind of just on his own in fifth. We've got Zelda and Esty, those two teammates going at it right now. And Esty's got half a second penalty and might be lucky to avoid a little bit more after that one. And yeah, that means Esty's going to lose his position to Zelda come the end of this lap. We should also have a look at the front of the race coming up soon as well. We've got battles for first, battles for third, and we've also got battles for sixth, as we're currently watching right now. And it looks like Moose has been able to pull a little bit of a gap on Kimi, and I could assume that Higgsy's going to do the same thing down into this hairpin. And that will mean that he isn't going to be overtaken. And here comes Esty with his penalty, and there goes his teammate Zelda now in front. Will D-Dubs go for it too? Will D-Dubs go for the inside line here? No, he will not. It is very nicely covered off by Esty, who knew what he had to do. Reaper's in 9th, Matt in 10th at the stand, Stu in 11th, both the Nissan 97, not the Nissan, sorry, Toyota 97s. Just teetering on the edge of points right now. Alright, trying to find his way back. Font is 13th, and Fracas is last. So Fracas is not having a good day either, neither is Juho. We're going to go back to the front. Moose King right now, currently just a bit clear of Kimi, who's just sitting himself in second right now, maybe looking to post a little bit of a threat here to Moose's lead. And you've got Higsy and Mont. Oh, someone's gone wrong here. Something has gone wrong. We've got about 10 seconds. Monty was actually in front of Higsy again there, and then oh, what on earth happened there? That car just slid to the opposite side of what I thought it was going to do there. He's had a bit of a problem. And I don't think he's going to be too happy with that, Monty. What was going to be a podium on the first race of the season for him has just turned into a nightmare. He's no longer even in the top 8. So we'll get to see what he does properly in the feature race in a moment's time. We're currently about 10 minutes of the way through this sprint. We've got Moose, who's just hanging on against Kimi right now. He's doing a pretty good job of it as well. Let's see if Kimi's going to be able to get close enough sooner rather than later. But right now, nothing's going to happen between these two. Higsy's in a world of his own. Jin currently just ahead of Zelda, as Jin's starting to drop back a little bit even after gaining 3 positions from spins throughout the entirety of this race. That seems to be a common occurrence here in Tier 5. There's just the mistakes handing certain people certain positions, and Jin's been the biggest beneficiary of that by now. He was started in 9th, he's now in 4th. Zelda and SD are the two really close on the back of him. We've got a battle here between D-Dubs and Reaper as well. Everyone seemingly about the same distance apart right now. D-Dubs in his Supra is hanging on against that Merc as we go into the 11-minute mark. Trying to figure out whether or not we're going to get some moves sooner rather than later here. We're actually going to take a quick look at what is going on at the front. It looks like Kimi is closing the gap. Moose has 3 laps left on the clock just to hang on, and it looks like Kimi is pulling closer and closer as we go toward the end of this race. It's not good news for that M6. That McLaren right behind him on ever so slightly better tyres. Should be able to start making inroads into that gap they currently have, but they're going to go down towards turn 1 now, and Moose is going to be able to hold on for a little while longer. They go through turn 1, and it seems like Moose is safe just for the rest of this first sector at the very least. Might have to watch out for the end of the second sector in this one. We're just currently going to watch the fight for first as Kimi is closing in at a rapid pace here. It looks like that McLaren doing its wonders right now. Is just trying to get close enough to Moose just to force something to happen. Hasn't been able to do so just yet. Moose is playing a bit of a dangerous line, going with that kind of line out of the sharp left-hander at the end of sector 2. They go down towards the hairpin now. Let's see whether or not this is going to be good news here for Kimi. Kimi does not go for it here. He's just too far back again, as we're just going to continue watching this as they go through the second to last corner on the lap now. And we're on lap 9 and we're about to head into lap 10, which is the second to last lap that they will have in this race. Moose comes to the inside line again just to make sure that Kimi can't get a good enough slip down the straight down towards turn 1, and he hasn't again, and it's what you call good driving there for Moose as he's just holding on for dear life. Now you've got Jin and then SD and Zelda behind, and D-Dubs also trying to make a name as well at this point in time as he is just sitting there right behind this little train that's been formed since the beginning, well, since the middle of the race where animals span. There's not an awful lot in terms of movement, in terms of overtake, going on here. It looks like Monty just had a bit of a issue with his tire, with his car there. He's got a bit of damage actually. His front, actually his rear right, is got a little bit of a problem there. Maybe whacked it against the wall on the exit of turn 1. Front has a penalty as well. He might get brought back to animal by the end of this. We've got Orak versus Stewart, and that's pretty nicely done by Orak in a place he would not expect a move to be done. So Orak trying to squeeze himself into the points after the early collision with Animal. And we're just going to look towards turn 1. Oh, it looks like Moose made a mistake there. Moose has a penalty. Moose has a penalty at the end of this race. Oh no. We're about half a minute away from the end of from the 15-minute mark, and Moose has a half-second penalty that he got on the final, 2 corners from the final corner on the lap, and now he's going to try and switch back. Kimi, who's just taken the lead momentarily, but goes off into the grass, and that means Moose is going to hold on for a little while longer, gets a little bit of a reprieve. Is Kimi going to be close enough though with that half-second penalty? Come the end of this race, we are on the final lap. We're in the 15th minute now. Is it going to be enough, or can Moose just eke out enough of a gap? He needs about a second. He hasn't got it at the moment. That gap seemingly growing, but it isn't growing enough. You can tell it isn't, because that is not... There's not even a half-second gap splitting the two of them. Never mind an entire second, as Moose is now coming up to the penalty marker. And this is the moment of truth. He's taken his penalty. Is it too much? They go down into the hairpin. Moose is going to send it. Moose is not going to send it. Kimi is fair enough. It gives him a lot of space and slides. And Moose spun! Moose spun on the exit of the second to last, and any sort of battle we were going to get to the line has just been just been destroyed, as Kimi, with a little bit of assistance by his own rival there, wins the first race of the season, or wins the first sprint race of the season here at Deep Forest. Gets away with a couple of mistakes, both by him, and Moose just made the bigger amount of mistakes in the end. Moose comes second. He might be a little bit good with himself. Hickey gets third in a rather comfortable fashion in the end. He had no one to challenge him after Montingspan. Jin gets fourth. Esty gets fifth. Zelda sixth. The Nissan brothers, or the Nissan teammates, will enjoy the race that they had there. D-Dubs, who ended seventh. Reaper eighth. Orak ninth. And I believe that is Matt that rounds out the rest of the points here for the sprint. Wow. That battle right at the end for the lead of the race got really intense really quickly. Well, Moose just could not keep the car right at the end there. It was just a little bit of a slide. Caught him at the end and gave him a half-second penalty they were just not able to recover from. I'm just taking a drink so my voice doesn't start to die out. But yeah, that's the end of the first race of the season. The sprint race doing pretty good showing of what Tier 5 could be here. And now we get to look for the actual feature race. We go to Switzerland, because that's where Deep Forest is. And you know what? Did I like Drew House? There you go. We always do that. We always get the people who share their replays are like, we'll watch. We'll just wait for this to download very quickly. But until that point, those who aren't. I don't want it spoiled. I don't want this next race spoiled for me. But I am very interested to see the strategies and everything that come across from Tier 5. Because Tier 5 apparently had quicker times than the Tier 4 guys. So I'm interested in seeing what realistically caused such a interesting conundrum. Weather was probably a good factor of that. Oh, we have a livery this time for the Ferrari. So we start in the, as for if you didn't already know, we start the opposite way with a reversed grid from what the sprint ended. So obviously Kimi will be in 16th to start this one. Moose 15th. Those two, 1 and 2 in the race prior. And you got Juho starts on pole here in the Jag, and I'm not going to put people who chose the Jag on blast here. But why? I'm going to need an explanation, because it's not a good car anymore. It hasn't been a good car for a while. I am very, very surprised that people chose the Jaguar. I think they may have been a little bit drunk when they did making some of these choices, unless they had to pick as a 6th. The picking it as a 6th is probably a fair explanation if you pick so late, but damn, that is probably a misfire in terms of a car choice pretty much the entire way for whoever picked it. And then we got Fracas in second, who I expected to be doing a lot better in the Mazda. Maybe it was just an unfortunate first race, but I think he should be doing a lot better than what that sprint gave him at the very least. Animal in third. We actually have a livery this time for that Ferrari, which is pretty nice. You got Font in fourth, and the other Mazda, as Mazda did not have a good sprint race whatsoever in Tier 5. You know, Monty in fifth, who was doing extremely well, and honestly should do very well here as well, provided he doesn't spin the car, because he would have finished top 3 in the other race. Otherwise, you got Stewart in his Super 97, who starts 6th as I think he was he was 11th, the last one that didn't get points. Oh, well, first of the ones that didn't get points in the sprint race. You got Matt, I believe, in the other Super 97, who is, well, he got 1 point in the sprint, came 10th. Aurak follows him up, Reaper in 9th. D-Dubs in 10th, Zelda in 11th, SD in 12th, and that is that a Wario livery? Oh my god, SD and Zelda, I've only just clicked on SD and because it didn't load in for the first one. SD and Zelda, Waluigi, and Wario. Okay, that's tickled me a bit too much. Fair play. We actually get to see the Wario livery in all of its glory at the moment. And then we've got Jin, who starts 13th, and then Higgsy, who's probably on top of the world as an Aston Villa fan right now, starting in probably content with his sprint race as well. Starting in 14th, and in third in the sprint. Moose in the other adopted King of the Ring livery in starting in 15th, and then Kimmy in 16th, who won the race, won the sprint race. So that's us gone through the entirety of the order. Time for a feature race to begin. Right, we're going to follow with duo here. 1, and it's 3, 2, 1, and we are off. Here we go. Let's see how long this Jag can hold the lead for as we now head down towards turn 1. And it looks like he's going to be relatively unchallenged down towards turn 1. Fracas not getting anywhere close enough to that Jag off the start. And now we'll start to close in as we go through 2. And it looks like Animal's going to hold on in 3rd, Font in 4th, who's getting closer and closer as we go through Sector 1. Will there be any Sector 1 chaos? No one having a problem so far. It looks like a little bit deep there for Font, who needs to learn very quickly how to do Sector 1 in Deep Forest, otherwise he's in for a horrid day as well. It did look also deep there for the Ferrari, as we are still 16 people without a spin at the beginning of this race here. And we're still as it was. So we've got Monty in 5th, Stuart in 6th. Is there anything happening here? Maybe teammates going after each other. That's a bit deep there by both Super 97s. Aurak's the one with a half-second penalty there. I'm not entirely sure what happened for that. I'm pretty sure Matt probably had the worst line of the 3 of them. But those are going to have their penalties to serve on the next lap. Not entirely sure why Aurak is moving off the line at this point in time. Actually, he's going for an inside line. Oh my god, it's absolute chaos here. We're going to go back and get a pretty proper look at this. We're going to have a look. We're going to watch on board with Monty as we see Animal get overtake there. It was all that into Matt. All 3 of them came together. All 3 of them came together there. That is not good news at all for Monty or for Aurak or for Matt. All 3 of them come together there, and well, it's a little bit unfortunate there as Monty goes round. Aurak also has a half-second penalty. We've got a lot of cars that are pretty much on the back of each other at the start of this one. Here we go, D-Dubs versus Matt. Matt is actually just going to have that position quite all right for now. D-Dubs on the inside line as well. Aurak trying to force himself in there, trying to make a name as well, but doesn't quite get it. Oh, D-Dubs is off the track. D-Dubs is off the track. I don't know if Matt gave him enough room there, but he is entirely off the track. And now that's damage as well. And now Esti's getting involved. We just have a pack going on here as the faster guys are trying to get through, and it turns into complete chaos as D-Dubs has spun again. I'm not entirely sure if there was any contact in the way there. He spun again. We got, oh, Zelda and Kimi come together. Zelda and Kimi come together, and that's caused Zelda to lose time. I'm pretty sure Kimi should get a report for that. Higgsy gets a second penalty. He'll drop off sooner rather than later then. As we currently have Kimi right behind, well, trying to go against Monty as it stands, as they are driving on lap 2, and Higgsy on the outside. Sorry, now going for a switchback on Kimi as Kimi went extremely deep. And that was pretty good racing there by Higgsy, who knows what he's doing on his debut. Two guys on their debut there, going at it wheel to wheel, a little bit deep for Kimi, gives the advantage to Higgsy, but it's a nice little switchback nonetheless from Higgsy on the only race winner in the tier so far. Albeit we've only had one race. Higgsy goes a bit deep there in turn 1, and the wide line is hopefully going to give him a nice line, but it doesn't give him a nice enough line to get by to hold his position there. So he's lost out there. Esti is in 10th now, going after Moose King, who's right behind Orak, who served his penalty and lost a couple. But the Wario livery is great. It's absolutely great. Might be contender for one of my favourite liveries so far, especially in this tier. But he's not really having much luck in terms of overtaking. The guy who ended second in the sprint earlier on. At this point in time, you've got a Juho from Fracas, still a 1-2 as what we started, which is quite impressive for those two drivers, given how poor their sprints were. Here comes Matt on the inside there, and Reap had a bit of a problem on the exit, so did Esti. And now Orak is under fire from Moose. We'll see whether or not he's able to do anything here. Moose, Orak just a little bit argy-bargy, I think is the word, as much as I hate it. With Moose there, just trying to force as little space as possible. We see Jin and Esti going at it in the background as well. Here comes Orak on the inside. Moose on the outside, tries a switchback, goes for it. Is he alongside enough to make it stick? No, he is not. He has managed to get a better run. Now he's alongside once again. Jin has got in front of Esti in the background there. But Orak finally gets the move. Well, finally gets the defense to stick against Moose King. We got a little bit of a battle up ahead. You got Matt versus Reaper. Reaper does get by. That's a pretty decent move there, using all the track possible, and had to give Matt as much room as possible, and Matt's got off into the grass there. I'm not sure if it was under contact or not from Orak, but now he's getting overtaken left, right and centre. Orak's gone by. Now Moose King's going to go by, as that Supra is going to have a ton of speed though, as maybe a chance to get by one of these M6s here, as both the M6s are trying to overtake him as they go down towards the hairpin now. And he's going to try and box in Moose. Jin's on the outside. Has he gone deep? No, he has not. That's pretty well driven from Matt. If he could get a good enough exit, that is, though. Oh, and both the BMWs have driven each other off the track. And that is Moose and Jin off the track. They have collided with each other and lost out quite heavily as well. That is 3 or 4 positions dropped for both drivers there, as Orak now goes on the outside of Matt and tries to hold the position, as Matt wasn't in front of Orak as the last time we saw, and it still isn't in front of Orak at current time either. So we still have Duo from Fracas from Font at the front of this race. No overtakes at the front, but the mid-pack has been packed with action in the first 5 laps of this one. Now we got Kimi on the outside now of Matt, who does very well in defence of that McLaren, and is doing pretty well here as a whole. Didn't really find his footing in tier 3 last season, but is in tier 5 now and is finding his footing in this race. SD has got in front of Kimi again as well. That's pretty decent movement there from the GTR. We've got like a 5 or 6 car train, everyone right on the back of each other. A couple of penalties being served at the back. I think that was one for Higgsy, for sure. Especially in, yeah, he served it in the tunnel there. It brings him back out into this, into the mess behind him. As we're continuing to watch Moose and Kimi renew their rivalry from the sprint race into the feature race, but right now it's only for 10th place as Kimi is on the inside, giving Moose a lot of room. And Kimi is still going to get a little bit of contact there with Moose as he goes by. That should be position gain there for Kimi as a whole. Moose does in fact back out, which is probably the smart play in all of this, to keep just for self-preservation reasons if nothing else. Further in front, now we've got Matt versus SD as Matt has dropped off the back of Orak, who needs to get a move on to catch back up to Reaper, and then Reaper for the rest of the grid in front. But the front three still right on the back of each other. It's still Duo from Fracas from front. And I'm pretty sure that I'm not entirely sure what tyres they're on. We'll go and see. We'll go and check sooner rather than later. The action is all here in this midfield. At this current point, we've got about 6 or 7 cars just right on the back of each other. They've got a different one making a different move every single lap. Here comes SD on the inside of Matt. Is Matt going to give him the room? Matt is not going to give him the room. And does close the door. SD still somehow manages to stay 9th in all of that. And gets a half-decent run against Kimi, who is in 10th. And then you've got Moose in 11th further back. We've got a freeway for right now for 9th. Four-way if you want to include Matt in 8th right now. But he's just got a little bit of advantage, a little bit of breathing room here. As SD's got the outside line against Kimi. And Moose is going to try and follow through a hole. Moose is going to follow through that hole expertly. And that is pretty nice there. Spotted that he was going to open up there, Moose, and he got it as soon as he possibly could. With a nice little move to the inside of turn 1. That's a lot of dirt. I'm not entirely sure who's kicking it up. Oh, and there's a little bit of contact there between Monty and SD. That's not good news. That's cost Monty another position. I can imagine if he was not exactly happy with the way this race has gone, especially with the contact. Oh, that's 2 seconds worth of penalties for SD. And must have cut the inside, and same with Kimi actually. Kimi got 2 seconds as well for the same infraction even, English. As we go now down towards the penalty marker, and everyone will start to separate now as we get Jin with SD. And SD's going to lose a ton of positions here. And same with Kimi actually. Kimi, and they both start driving now. And that is Zelda who's going by. And is it going to be D-Dubs as well? D-Dubs overtakes SD. SD is now last. D-Dubs is not able to get by on Kimi though. Is basically restarting from the back. And now everyone in the midfield has started to spread out. We're now going to pay a little bit of attention to the front of the grid. Mediums for Fracas, mediums for Font as well, but softs for the Jaguars who currently hold the lead of this race. The better question is, how do the Mazdas screw this up? Or do they screw this up? Because they should be, quite frankly, in a very good position here. Medium tyres, they're not really under any sort of threat either. Animal, the closest driver outside of the top 3, and he's on mediums as well, but not really posing much of a threat in that Ferrari right now. Stuart Reaper very much off in the background. And I think Orak has actually caught up to Reaper in this whole thing as well. As we're currently watching the front 3 continue to fight. There's a bit of a problem. Someone has spun out in the mid. Someone has spun out in the midfield here. I'm not entirely sure who it is. Who's gone? Who had a bit of an error? We have a yellow flag. Oh, it's Animal again! In the same place again! With the same problem again! Oh, you don't want to be doing that too often. Well, he's done it in both of the races, and that's caused a problem for him. And what would have been a very good day for him has turned out to be an absolute tragedy. that spin, the same place twice. He got lucky enough that he got 30 minutes to recuperate this one. He didn't have the same time afforded to him in the first one. So he's got a lot of problems he needs to fix. And he needs to fix them very quickly. And we've got a little bit of a battle going on now. Orak on the inside. He doesn't go to the inside of Reaper here. Reaper currently sits in 5th in his Mercedes. And he needs to try and make his way towards that Toyota 97. Currently sat in front of him. Because Stewart is rather unchallenged right now. On his medium tyres in that Supra that just doesn't lose tyre wear at all in the slightest on a track where tyre wear isn't really a problem. He could go forever realistically, Stewart here. And so someone's got to challenge him sooner rather than later for the bottom of this, well, for 4th place at the moment, and trying to set up a podium push sooner rather than later. But Orak is all over the place. Orak is quite literally all over the place in the second sector here. He did not get any of that right. As we now have Matt versus Moose, who's managed to work his way towards this, towards the top 7 now. As the top drivers, the so-called faster drivers anyway, in this tier are not getting through the pack as easy as they probably would have liked. And let's see if Moose is going to be able to change that a little bit here with a move looking to the outside. He probably should just stick with the slipstream on the inside here against Matt, who's definitely got a faster car in a straight line than what Moose does. And now he's got to step to the inside, later braking. And again, just doesn't go for the later braking. And just sits behind him again. And I feel like that's a move that could have been done there from Moose, but chose not to. Which is a very interesting choice, knowing that you've got the entirety of the rest of the grid to try and work your way through if you want to win this race. Oh, that's a spin in the background. That is Zelda. Yeah, that is Zelda. Zelda's going to have a problem here. We are already one person down. I'm not entirely sure who quit. Well, yeah, we are one man down. Wow. Also, Font, what on earth happened to Font? Font had damage, so Font must have spanned. Font must have had a bit of a problem there, as he now drops toward towards 4th, rather than being where he was at the front of the grid when him and Fracas were trying to fight Juho here, who was on the soft tyre still. And I wonder how long he's going to go with that. But for now, Fracas is going to try and go on the outside here against Juho. Maybe look for a little bit of a switchback if the hole opens up. The hole did open up, but he's gone too much on the grass. Hello, Ryan. He's gone a bit too much on the grass there, Fracas, and is any chance he had of making just a swift move there against Juho may have just fallen by the wayside. And he is not going to enjoy the fact that he went too much on the grass and got too much under that Mazda, made it spin a little bit, lost a little bit of time. He's still well within the shot of Juho rather than the rest of the cars behind. His Font is all over the place and now has a 2.5 second penalty as well in his Mazda, and is about to serve that penalty and drop well into the background now. Will probably be about 5th or 6th. By the time that penalty is served, you see Reaper in the background of the picture there, so he will definitely... yeah, Font's definitely going to drop at least 2 positions here. Vorak must have had a bit of a problem himself, as he is not going to be able to catch up to Font in this happen at all. So, Stuart up into the bottom of the podium slates. Reaper into 4th place as well, now fighting for a podium of his own. Fracas is still hanging around with Juho, who's put up one stout defence for the first 12 laps of this feature. We're almost hitting halfway. Here comes Fracas. Looked like he might have had a little bit of a run on the inside again there. That just showed that he was a bit too far back to actually make it stick. as we're going to go back to the middle of the grid again and see what chaos has unfolded. So Moose has got past Matt, and it's Monty and Jin, and Kimmy in 11th right now, who's in the middle of nowhere. And then we've got D-Dubs and Esty, who have both had problems of their own in this race, fighting it out for 12th. Zelda's spin currently puts him at the back, and Higgsy is in the pits right now, off of his softs onto the medium tyres. He really hasn't been able to get through the pack in this race so far. It doesn't look like much is going to happen at the front of the grid between Fracas and Juho in this lap. And therefore we're going to just take a quick look at this battle here. D-Dub should have the speed on that GTR down the straight. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make a move though. Maybe if there's a couple of moves going on there in the middle. It doesn't look like it as we just watch into the background of the picture as everyone else going through the hairpin. But now, here comes the move from D-Dubs on the inside, and it's not going to materialise very well because Esty closes the door very nicely to shut off any hopes and dreams of that happening. In comes Jin off of his medium tyres, which makes sense. It is about time those medium tyres can go to the end. No, not medium tyres. The soft tyres can go to the end. Sorry, it's about 15 laps, 16 laps, especially on the 6. Speaking out of experience, they've got Monty and Matt going at it here actually, and Moose is well into a little bit into the distance now as he starts to catch up with Font for a top 5 position in this race. None of the top 7 even have pitted. Jin, I believe, is actually Orak was the highest one that's actually pitted. So one of the top 6 has. Font has got another penalty. Matt and Monty will go at each other sooner rather than later. We're going to actually go to the front of the grid very quickly, as we're going to see if Fracas makes a move here. Fracas chooses not to make a move here. Stewart is way ahead of Reaper, so no move going to happen there, but we will see moves go past Font without much of an issue as Moose moves up into 5th. We got Matt, who's gone very deep into the hairpin, or out of the hairpin, shall I say. And Monty is now right on the back of him, but again, that Supra 97 versus that Supra, I think it's 18. I don't think the Supra 18 wins on the power, but on the power there, to be honest with you. Even with the slipstream, it's going to be close. So they're going to go down towards turn 1 together. And it's now side by side. The inside line is usually a better line to have right now. And Matt with the wide line, trying to switch back. This would be beautiful if he can get it. Just a bit too far behind. Out of turn 1. He's still there. He's still trying to hang himself on that inside. But that Super 18 is going to win eventually. And Monty, is going to go into 7th place. So we get to just take a quick look at what is happening back at the front, because everyone and anyone is doing pit stops now. My voice has just died again, which is not fun. Let's see if Fracas is going to be able to make a move very quickly. He chooses not to into that hairpin. A little bit too far behind on Juho again. And Juho has quite frankly done an absolute number of Fracas this race. They've both been at the front. They've both been convincingly at the front the entire time. But Fracas needs to get a move done if he wants to actually win this race. And the longer this stays as it is, the longer it's going to be, well, the harder it's going to get for Fracas to actually win this race. Until Juho, well, he will get past Juho when Juho goes onto the mediums and Fracas goes onto the softs. That will happen eventually, but it's probably going to be too little too late by that point. As Fracas has also stayed way too long on those medium tyres. He's at least 2 laps over where he should be on that medium tyre. I get that he probably doesn't want to give up track position, but he needed to make his pit stop at least lap 13 at the latest. He has as much time on the soft as possible. Font gets another 3.5 seconds. I'm not entirely sure how he's doing it at this point. as we see moves on the inside here against Reaper. I'm not entirely sure if this is going to turn into a move here. We'll see sooner rather than later. Moose is going to have a better speed than the Merc 20 as we head down into this hairpin. There was no move at the front of the grid, but there will be a move here. Moose on the inside against Reaper on the outside. Moose is going to have a good line here. A little bit of contact on the way through. And yeah, Moose is going to get by. Moose is going to get by into fourth, and I think he might be about to pit. Yeah, he is. He also went way too long on those medium tires as well. I'm not entirely sure. Why was everyone doing 15 on the mediums here? Believe it or not, Juho's got the right idea, even though he got it the wrong way round. I'm so confused. Did some of these people not do testing when they were doing this track? Not do any practice, because these strategies are insanely questionable. If you did a little bit of practice, you would know that those tires, those soft tires, go roughly 15. For the absolute worst, they'll go 14. This track is not a tire wear track, so they could have gone for as long as you realistically would have wanted them to go. And it should have been more laps on softs and more laps on mediums, but I guess if it worked, it works. Aurak at this point in time, going through, he pit a couple laps ago. Yeah, he pit a decent chunk of time ago, actually. Did 12 laps on the medium tires and then went on to the soft. The McLaren tyre wear is also going to help. Alright, currently doing pretty well for himself. Fracas finally comes in on lap 16. Juho will continue going, and I can't say I blame him. Jag tyres just do not go off. But to be fair, the wind is also turned in direction and it's coming the other way. Fracas and Font going to pit now. Reaper stays out. He'll do one more lap then, I guess, on those medium tyres, which is probably still not a great choice. So, Juho will go on the medium tyres, so he will start to fade toward the end of this one. Aurak currently on the softs. Fracas and Font are on the softs as well. Will Fracas come out in front of Aurak? The answer is yes. Yes, he will. And that is good news for Fracas, who is now on fresh softs. Albeit those fresh softs are not much fresher than Aurak softs, and he's been out since lap 12. We'll see whether or not things will change sooner rather than later here. Stuart in net P3 at this point in time. Yeah, Kimi, who's currently in 6th, he went on to softs as well. The strategy paying very much dividends for him. I'm not entirely sure what the hell happened to Moose in all of this, as he is now in 9th. Must have pit in the last couple of laps. Juho now into the pit, so I'm assuming we're about to see the medium tyres and will pop up beside Reaper as well. Can't imagine him stay out so much for much longer yet, and that is the case. So, where will these two come out against Fracas and Aurak? Fracas is definitely in the best position to win this race from this point onwards. We'll see whether or not he's going to be able to do it. We go round towards turn 1. They're down through the final corner now, down towards turn 1. Is he going to get out in front of Juho, who's now on the medium tyres? He is not. Reaper's going to lose a ton of positions here as well, as he is currently refueling. Yeah, and as it stands, my remote to die midway through the commentary stream, that's for sure. So, yeah, mic conked out. Yeah, exactly. Well, it wasn't the mic more than the remote itself, actually, because I don't play with it on charge. But yeah. So, Juho in first at the moment, but he's on medium tyres, so he's essentially just going to fall down the grid as we go along. Not entirely sure why. He could have told that he was on the medium tires here. It should be relatively easy to make this move stick. Should be a one and done here, and it will be. There you go, Fracas on the inside. Oh no, Fracas had gone deep. Oh, Fracas, what are you doing? Oh no, that was a. You had it in your hands there. It was made easy for you. You've just gone way too deep. Fracas just goes way too deep in the hairpin. The opportunity that was put on a plate for him there just slipped away. One driver error. Now Orax through into second place, and now it's Orax's race to lose. The Jag leading, yes, but it's also on medium tyres, and I don't think it's going to do an awful lot from here on out. We got Fracas in third, Orax in second, Juho in first, and quite frankly, this should not take too long. This should not be a question of when, if, it should be a question of when, and it's probably going to be this lap if Orax is going to get his way. He's going to go right after this Jaguar here, down the straight. He's going to get himself a little bit of that slipstream that he wants. He's going to try and set up a move, probably to the inside of this hairpin here. And now he's pulling alongside, and Orax pulling alongside the Jag, and that is how it was made easy for him. Maybe Fracas trying to follow through the hole, couldn't do it either. Couldn't do it there either, but Orax definitely could, and Orax is in a very good position now. It made it look very easy there with the slipstream down towards the hairpin, and we are now on to lap 20 of this race. Lap 20 of 27 or 28, depending on how quick you go. We're currently about one lap away from hitting the 30-minute mark on this race. So we've got Orax versus Juho versus Fracas. I still can't see it taking it too long before Fracas actually gets that move done on the Jaguar. The Jaguar is just starting to go backwards rather than forwards. As Orax is now starting to build a healthy lead. He's starting to build it just a little by little. The tyres are not going to betray him either, because it's not a tyre wear track. I've said that plenty of times so far in this one. Fracas is definitely close enough now. This should be the lap. This has to be the lap that Fracas gets by. Fracas on the should be looking to the inside here. Should be looking to the inside here. A little bit of a late break, and he should get it. And this time he has the inside lane. No way. And Juho with the outside lane gets a really good exit. Gets an extremely good exit there. And holds on just a little bit longer against Fracas. And Juho has put an absolute number on Fracas today. Maybe down towards turn one. Maybe for him this time. And it looks like an inside line here for Fracas. And that inside line should finally pay dividends. And he's still side by side, but it should get it done. Surely. Surely. Oh no, he's gone deep! He's gone straight into the wall! He's gone straight into the wall! Fracas! Oh my god, how many opportunities do you want in this race? And you've just not taken any of them. Oh my god, he could not make this any easier for you if he tried. Especially on turn one there. He should have got it done all into the wall, and that is a mistake. That is a huge mistake you don't want to be making too often. And you got Higsy, who currently in fourth, and now within a shot, within arm's reach of a podium after that error from Fracas earlier on, and Juho just clogging the entire rest of the gap up. And the pack is now closing in. Stewart's going to look to the inside here. Is not going to get it. That's a nice little bit of defending there from Higsy. A little bit of a wobbly exit there from Stewart, who will just hold on for a little while longer. We've got Monty, and then we've got Moose following that as we're on lap 21. of about 26 or 20, about 27 or 28 as we watch down towards turn 1. Higsy is in front, Stewart, then Monty, and Moose King is not close enough to make a move, but these four continue on, and I think Monty may have just had a little bit of a tag on Stewart there. These three are now going to go by fighting properly. Higsy has a little bit of breathing room, and the more he gets the breathing room, the more this is nicely done, more than he's going to enjoy this. And here comes Moose on the outside, doesn't get it done, and Monty there, who's just all over the place on the exit of Sector 1 there. You don't want to be doing that too often. That is not a good exit there for Monty. Higsy is definitely clear now, and Stewart has managed to give himself a little bit of breathing room as well, albeit it's not a lot. But his breathing room is just how long can he get without that, how long can he get with that super half sliding for every single corner he ever sees? Here comes Moose King, who might be looking to take advantage of that now. Here we go, side by side, the M6 and the Supra. And the M6 is on the inside line. Will he get it done? The exit here, they're both going to go side by side. They're still side by side down towards the final corner on the lap here on lap 22. I think it's on lap 21 still. I'm not entirely sure if we've gone over to lap 22 yet. Oh no, we were on lap 22, on to lap 23 now, and Monty is trying to go lawnmower style over the grass on the outside there. And that's probably not going to be a wise idea against that M6. It's definitely not going to be wise to turn into a full-blown lawnmower though. Also, Juho has had a bit of a problem. Juho has had a bit of a problem, and now he drops from second all the way to fourth, and with him being on medium tyres, I can assume that fourth is going to turn into a seventh before you know it. And as I said earlier, that Jag is just going to start piling down the order. Monty's got a 2.5 second penalty, which is impressive. And yeah, Juho on the medium tyres is going to have to start figuring a way of holding on for dear life. So every single person around him now is on softs. Also, Higsy back up into the podium. He's had an extremely good first day. A third would probably put him second or so in the championship if Moose and Kimi aren't able to get by. Fracas is currently in second. We've got a little bit of a battle going on behind. All that looked a little bit slidey there from Kimi. It also didn't look great for Stewart, who's just been overtaken by Moose. Will have the straight line speed to hold off that McLaren though, as Juho is now putting on a defensive masterclass for everyone else in the race instead of just Fracas. And here comes Moose to the inside. It looks like Kimi's going to try and follow a hole. Kimi will try and follow a hole. He's got a little bit deep here, if anything else. And will, in fact, follow that hole through. That is pretty well done by both Moose and by Kimi. And now they're going at each other again. Fourth and fifth are the guys that ended second and first in the first race of the day. Moose is just about holding on against Kimi now. It doesn't look like an awful lot is actually happening. It actually looks like Kimi's got by. Kimi actually got by there on Moose. It's pretty nicely done. They're going to go back to side-by-side racing here. The inside line though for Moose should give him the position back. And it will give him the position back, but the slipstream straight back in the direction of the McLaren. If he even wants to use it, he is now slipping in behind that M6, so they go down towards the hairpin. Is there going to be a move here? Is there going to be a move here for Kimi on the inside? No, there is not. Moose does a good job placing his car exactly where it needed to be. Higsy just a little bit off the back of Fracas now as he sits himself in third. Moose is trying to charge him down in the final 3 or 4 laps in this race. We're now on to lap 25. We are now 36 minutes through this race. And Orak is a very, very healthy lead. Juho gave him pretty, well, Juho didn't really give Orak much of a fight. Orak made the easy work of the overtake that should have happened from Fracas the lap prior. And this race would be a lot different if Fracas hadn't overshot his opportunity. or got the strategy right, or pretty much done anything for pretty much the entire race in an attempt to actually win it. Oh, that looked a little bit deep there from Moose. Don't think you can get away with too many of those. And also, Kimi is definitely in the background now. Gonna have to do some work to catch up. Moose currently has a 26.7 as the wind has come back in helpful directions in terms of time. Moose, however, not going for anything against Higsy here. Higsy and his Merc doing more than enough of a job right now to get this to be a pretty good race for him. They're now going right on the back of each other, right down towards turn 1. Fracas not that far in front. There's in Fracas over the line now. Aurak is already in turn 1. Higsy on the outside, Moose on the inside, and that's a pretty nice bit of defending from Higsy. Hold on to the position for a little while longer. We're on lap 26 now. There's only 2 or 3 left to go, which means Higsy just needs to hold on for a little while longer. Juho's in 6th. He's about to come under fire from Stewart. Monty's still in 8th after his penalties. Jin in 10th right now. Has really not done a lot of anything. D-Dubs, then you got Matt Reaper just driving on his own for now. Zelda, and then Font, who's, I don't know what the hell happened to Font. He's in a Mazda and he's having a nightmare. So Aurak all the way over towards the end of sector 3 now. We're just about coming into the straight here with Fracas. And then Higsy and Moose. And Higsy's got a penalty. Higsy's got a penalty and he might have just blown his chance at a podium. Moose has got by either way. On the inside line here. Oh my Jesus Christ, where the hell did Kimi come from? I want a replay of that. I want a replay of that. He has come from nowhere here. Oh yeah, he just could not get could not get slowed down there at all. Wow, yeah, that's it's a bit deep. I think to the corner there, Kimi. Just slightly. Not a penalty for that either. Okay, damn. Yeah, Higsy has in fact got a penalty that he needs to serve on what will be the final lap of this race for these guys. It's the final lap of the race for Higsy. Oh, and Higsy got tapped there by Kimi, and that's to push the pass. You don't get away with too many of those. And that, Jesus, that's I'm not sure you're meant to have overtaken that in that fashion, to be honest with you. A little bit ropey driving here from Kimi in the last couple of laps. As Higsy looked to make it difficult, but was never really given the chance. I think the top 3 are now pretty much set in stone. Aurak from Fracas from Moose. Don't really think there's a much that could be going on here. As it stands, I think before penalties anyway, I think Kimi will be in the lead of this championship by a point at the end of day 1. Higsy's now served his penalty. As we watch on the final lap, here comes Aurak through the hairpin. Has enough fuel. Can he get to the line in front of Fracas? And if the question in this race is, what if Fracas had got that move done when he was presented a golden opportunity against Juho, and he didn't take it, which allowed Aurak to make the easy move on the following lap and win the first sprint of the season, the first feature of the season here at Deep Forest in Tier 5. He took advantage of the opportunities he was given, Fracas did not, and that was the deciding factor in the end of this one. Fracas gets 2nd, Moose gets 3rd, Kimi gets 4th, Higsy gets 5th, Stewart 6th, Monty 7th, SD 8th, Jin 9th, D-Dubs 10th, Matt 11th, Zelda 12th, Juho 13th in the end. Reaper 14th, and Font is, I have no idea what the hell Font was doing. Yeah, I think that's a bottle. That's the kind of bottle I would be impressed of. I reckon, Fracas. Yeah, Moose had a very good run. As soon as he got into clear air, he had a run for it. He had to get a lot. He had a lot on his plate there. But that was pretty well done the entire way through. Wow. And that is a feature race. Orak taking his chances, Fracas did not. That's the storyline from the first week of Tier 5. It's going to be very much as a tier of opportunistic, who's the most opportunistic driver? Who's going to take their chances when they're presented to them and who isn't? And, well, it's 1-0 Orak at this point. Also, credit to Kimi for winning. Kimi winning the first one. Moose also not taking advantage of what was given to him there. Got a penalty late on. He fumbled away the first race. Made up for it in the second. But that is both the feature and the sprint covered for the first race of the season from Season 12 in Tier 5. And, well, maybe slightly earlier this time next week, but I will also see you for the second round of Tier 5, which is Spa, and it's going to be it's just going to be chaos in a bit.